Further than looting, and what they're looking for are weapons.
Just since we've taken your shot, Aaron, it looks as though that the fire has spread from that Radio Shack to another store just to the left, just to the right of it, as we're looking at the fire. So
I think you're right.
The fires are continuing to spread very quickly.
This whole mini mall could go, as we've seen so many others go throughout the city.
Okay, Eric, we want to go to Warren Wilson right now. We'll get back to you in just a few moments. Now, you're on Vermont. Warren, you're on Vermont also, is that correct? But farther south.
I am on Vermont at Martin Luther King Boulevard, and what you're seeing behind me in the country would perhaps be described as a battlefield. What you're seeing is the first deployment. The first units of the National Guard are now out in the field. They have taken positions here. It appears that just as though they had taken control of captured territory to protect the buildings from fires that are now burning all around us. These fires, of course, are now burning without any suppressive action by the fire department, because now the military has taken over, military police with their modern day weapons, and they are here. You know, this is serious business. For those of you who are watching, this is what has happened. This had come to this now, and there are several military police officers here. Somebody's trying to talk in my ear here. Several military policemen standing guard here, as I said, at Vermont and Martin Luther King, and there's a building across the street behind them that's burning. The military units, the vehicles are parked there. They're all around the place. There are several of them moved in a few minutes ago, and of course they have instructions that they are not to talk to the press because they have serious business to attend. And Hal, we've heard Bradley talk about the gravity of the problem, and certainly these pictures are giving us an indication of exactly how serious this problem is here now. It is now military territory. You see the officers running back and forth. Just a couple of moments ago, a large number of police and sheriff units arrived here. We were unable to get over there to see what it is, but we are surrounded by fire, by smoke, and skeletal remains from the fires that have been burning all day. Across the street, you know, the thing that's missing here is the airplanes with their bombs, but I can assure you that the windows that are exploding in these buildings sound like bomb dropping in a distance. That is not what's happening. It is this emergency gravitating to something much greater than what it has been already. But with the National Guard here, we believe that this is going to be the first step in bringing this matter under control. We understand that there may be as many or more than 2,000 who will be deployed here in Los Angeles as they are needed, as the day progresses and as the night comes, which we are now approaching.
Warren, I might mention to you that just to give an arithmetic number to what you just said, you mentioned how the fires are all around you and there is so much smoke. The fire department has just informed us that they have responded. This is LA City Fire, has responded to 916 fires just from a midnight from the
well, Hal,
last
I can tell you, that is probably, I know that's an accurate figure because we have seen fires here breaking out every 10, 15, 20 minutes. And the eerie scene that you're looking at now is an indication starkly of what's been happening and what fire officials and others have been talking about here all day long.
Warren, let me just okay, one quick thing, Larry, and then you go ahead. Okay. Warren, this is a very difficult question, and I don't know if you can ascertain this or not. Do you know if these troops are armed? They look like M16s. Are they armed with, do they have live ammunition with them? Do they have rubber bullets, or are they unarmed, or are the guns not loaded? Do you have any idea?
No, we do not know, but these men are dressed certainly in battle gear. They are not able to talk to us. We can assume that they are here to protect property, and they're not going to do it with their bare hands.
That certainly looks like a magazine on the bottom of there.
Yeah, but it might be, I'm just interested as to whether it is, and...
Well, it is. Certainly they're equipped with the proper weaponry to do the job. And we hope to get information and talk to somebody to find out, if we can, what they can tell us.
Warren, that the tube under the rifle looks to me like a tear gas launcher.
Well, I'm not that familiar with these type weapons.
Yes, I think it is.
Hal, but I can assume that is what they have, if that's what they need out here.
Warren, I was going to ask you, since the National Guard has been deployed now, and the Guardsmen are there, and they're armed, and they have established quite an imposing presence, what has been the reaction of the residents, the citizens of the area? Do they seem to be showing a little more respect, or are they dispersing? What's their reaction to the arrival of the Guard?
Well, I can tell you, the people we're watching standing right here, they are just watching as spectators with no particular display of any behavior of fear, of apprehension. They're just watching. They're curious about what's going on.
Okay, now
let me ask this lady, what do you feel about the Guards being here?
It's bullshit. It's what it is.
Well, that's I was afraid of that, but I can't have that kind of language. But anyway, Hal, certainly there's some anger. There's some.
Okay.
We happen to pick a person at random.
Okay, Warren, I understand,
Yeah,
and there's nothing you can do about that. But the reason I asked the question specifically is because obviously the people who are out there on the street in the community have not been watching Hal and Jan and me, and I'm wondering if these people know that one of the reasons the Guard is there is that they are supposed to be off the streets by sundown.
Well, you know, believe it or not, I told somebody earlier today that, listen, are you aware that there is a curfew on? And he says, well, what do you mean? I says, well, it means that from sun up to sundown, there are restrictions. Your movements are going to be restricted because of this emergency. That particular person was not aware.
See?
And if he's an indication, there may be others who will find out as soon as the sun goes down.
Warren, I think that some of the crowd control procedures will be for the National Guardsmen in their Humvees and with loudspeakers to go through the streets, announcing you are to be off the streets from sundown to sunup. I think that's probably what they'll do, is my guess. But once again, Warren, that's strictly hypothetical.
Well, Hal, you know, as I recall back in 1965, certainly following the Guard in and out of Watts or around Watts, people were warned by officers going down the street advising on the bullhorn that there was a curfew in effect and that they were to get off the street. So we can assume if they followed the procedure they followed then, we may be seeing that same thing here tonight. And if we do, we're certainly going to bring it to you.
How many troops are deployed in your area right now? How many men do you say?
I'd say there's probably 15 to 20 who at this particular location. There may be more, there may be less than that. Well, I doubt if they're less than that. Well, I don't know. Maybe now with across the street as I look around, those vehicles that were over there a moment ago have moved back, but that could be because of the intensity of the heat in that building that's going up in flames there with uncontrolled, without any attempt by firemen to come in here and put it out.
So, Warren, you think there could be 15 or 20 members of the National Guard there, and how many Humvees are there just in that small location where you can see?
Well, no, that's what I mean. There were, a moment ago with those across the street, there were probably that many in total at this location.
Okay.
But as I indicated, I can see that the ones across the street have disappeared, but that may be just a temporary pullback because of the fire that you're watching right now going up in a building which appears to be new. And that's one of the ironies of what's happening here.
Did that just break out behind you while you were talking?
The left side, the skeletal part of it, burned earlier today or last night, and it smoldered. And the firemen had been keeping it under control, and just since we have been here, probably an hour now, it has expanded, the fire has expanded and burning now into the main part of the building.
I'm curious, Warren, the woman who you were not able to interview just a few moments ago, did she express anything else as to her reaction to the National Guard moving in there?
No, she did not. Hal, I was unable to talk to her beforehand, and as you could see, she expressed some anger, some anxiety here by the language that she used.
Right.
Yes. I could see some lettering on that building that's burning behind you, Warren. Somebody is going to have to be without dental service for a while because I saw something that said family dental services. There's a boutique we're looking at now.
And believe me, you're right. There's
medical offices.
As dentists say, there's nothing to smile about now. Not certainly in this area.
Now, let us know, Warren, for the time you've been there, have you seen any further deployment of National Guard forces or LAPD? Anyone else coming in there?
No, I have not. As a matter of fact, there were several units of sheriff deputies rushing in here with their sirens and lights and so forth going about half hour ago, but they left, and I've seen no other troops coming in this direction. I can assume, though, that based on some of the activity that we saw earlier at different locations, that there are going to be National Guardsmen there, and they may be posting them at the main shopping centers where that are subject to be torched during the night.
Well, the shopping centers, of course, would be at the main intersections, and that's probably where they will try to secure the territory first. Would that be...
Well, that sounds like the rational or reasonable thing to do because, you know, as I said earlier, firemen, they have been spread thin, running all day. We're tired out here, but I can assure you that it would probably be like having a week's holiday compared to what those guys have had to go through, and women. I mean, I've seen nothing but male firemen. I don't mean to slight female firefighters, and I'm sure that they are all doing an extraordinary job.
And I'm sure some female National Guard forces are there too.
Yeah.
I would expect so, but I haven't seen anything with this particular deployment. But I said this is a small unit of some 2,000 or so that Mayor Bradley spoke of a moment ago, and there may be more coming in.
Warren, it's about 4:30 on a Thursday afternoon. Normally, there would be a lot of traffic behind you there. Is it just our imagination from what we're seeing, or the traffic seems to be unusually sparse?
Well, I tell you, it was extremely heavy, stop and go earlier today, but at that time, that was about the time that police began to move in here in sizable numbers, and now that the National Guard is moving in, I'm sure that's affecting traffic because, you know, because of these fires also, Larry, policemen have set up roadblocks at intersections prohibiting traffic in some of the areas where the fire is burning dangerously close to the street. So there are a lot of factors, I'm sure, which contributes to the fact that you don't see as many cars, other vehicles on the street as is normally the case at 4:30 in this particular area.
Warren, one other thing that you will not see, I believe, if you were to look overhead, you may see helicopters, but I don't think you're going to see any jetliners going into Los Angeles International Airport. I contacted the LA International Tower just moments ago, and the aircraft that are departing LA International, Warren, are taking off on their usual pattern over the water, taking out to the west into the wind. But they are landing, coming in from the ocean, landing to the east. They are not flying over the area for a number of reasons. The FAA has pointed out, first of all, because of the smoke that is generated on their final approach, and the other is they're worried about people shooting at jetliners.
Well, you know what, Hal, that's from all indications, from our point of view, that is absolutely the case because we have not seen any commercial airplanes flying over our area anywhere today. I did see some earlier this morning, but as you say, they were going out in a direction away from where all this action is. The smoke, you know, the smoke I've seen smoke. I saw what was in Kuwait, and I can tell you that there's a similarity here. I've seen that today with stacks, what I'd consider stacks, rows of smoke skyward. We're watching now firemen going, as you can see, rushing to another location. And as far as the airplanes are concerned, helicopters are the only thing we've seen in the air here today.
The FAA has diverted them, Warren, for safety reasons, and we have also been informed that some flights have been delayed up to 4.5 hours because of the diversion of aircraft and because of the smoke and the violence down below.
Well, I'm sure that, you know, federal officials are really concerned, and everybody, when you're in what this must be described as a riot situation, that every precaution is going to be made by those who are responsible for any kind of activity that could be affected by what's going on within this curfew area.
Warren, it's kind of interesting. As we were just chatting, you realize the terrible situation that exists when you see a fire engine going right by a fire that's right behind you there and going to someplace else where it was considered more important that it be.
I tell you, Hal, since that's absolutely correct, because this morning we drive by or drive up to a location like this and see firemen coming, and they were headed to where we were, and then all of a sudden they get a call that, hey, there is something far greater and far more serious going on than what they're at. And this one here is obviously that represents that situation.
You know, that struck me, Warren, at the same time Hal was mentioning it, how bizarre it is to see a fire engine running right past a fire.
I tell you.
Warren, I've just been given word that the city of Inglewood has now declared a state of local emergency, and the city officials of Inglewood have formally requested service by the National Guard in that community.
Well, you know, that I can understand that, Larry, because Inglewood is just south of this area where the curfew, at least the southwest portion of the curfew, is fairly close to Inglewood, and I would not be surprised that that's the case over there. And I'm been given the signal here that you want to go to something else, so we'll stand by here for any further developments.
Well, that's okay, Warren. Just one other point when you mentioned about Inglewood, which I think is important to bear in mind, which is that 2,000 National Guard troops have been called into action in the area in which you are located right now. Another 2,000 are on standby and have been placed on alert at the request of Mayor Bradley and as a result of a declaration by Governor Wilson. So that could be 4,000 troops for starters, and some of those could be deployed to Inglewood.
Well, you know what, Hal, I can certainly understand them taking that action, and I would not consider that excessive, given the fact that we have seen as much uncontrolled activity out here today as we've seen, and this going into the second night, and there are still lots of buildings remaining here, and there are others that are half burned, and I'm sure that they are concerned about somebody coming back, possibly reigniting those, and on the other hand, they now have to start thinking about life, human life, and the loss of human life. And Hal, we're going to have to come back to you because I'm told now that we've got a battery that's going. Okay. So we'll speak to you. We'll be here. We'll be on standby.
Okay, Warren, we will be getting back to you in a few minutes, get that battery recharged, and we're going to go to Eric Spillman right now in Skycam 5. Eric?
Al, I don't know if you have our picture. There you go. We're flying over Alvarado and 9th. Yet another fire, this time a paint and hardware store. And this could be pretty dangerous because you got some toxic materials that could burn here. I'm surprised we haven't seen this earlier. Most of the fires have been concentrated in things like liquor stores and convenience stores and drug stores, that kind of stuff. Now we're seeing larger type industrial fires. And the thing about this one is that a lot of people live in apartments near here. Many of them are standing around on the street, or as you can see, on top of the buildings, watching the city burn down, watching all the fires. And as they look out on the horizon, there are many fires. You see people on the roof down there spraying water. It's kind of a hopeless effort. They've got a hose connected up, and they're spraying water. It'll never reach across the street to where that fire is, but they're giving it a shot anyways. Kind of a pathetic situation.
Yeah, it's like an exercise in futility there, Eric. You know, we're beginning to see another calamity develop as we see more and more, Eric, these fires being started in buildings where there are businesses downstairs and residences upstairs. We're going to be faced with a problem of a lot of homeless people if this continues.
Homeless and jobless people, both.
Yes.
You know, Eric, we just got notification that the state of California is now airlifting not just CHP officers, but CHP officers and their vehicles to the LA area by military transport aircraft. So in addition to the National Guardsmen that have been called out, apparently...
We saw a big staging area for the California Highway Patrol right outside the Memorial Coliseum. About several hundred California Highway Patrol officers were staging in that area, and they're now out on the streets doing some patrolling.
Apparently they're going to get some more help, and not just officers, but their vehicles actually being airlifted to the LA area.
They would probably be coming in on C-130
30s.
transports or C-141s. In 1965, they landed at Van Nuys Airport, and they had a staging area there, and then moved out from that point. But I don't know where they are going to land at the present time.
But obviously, it probably won't be LAX, considering the problems
That's
they have.
right, with 4.5-hour delays on flights at LA International because of the situation here in the city.
Jan, you did the weather last night, I think you did. What time did you say sunset was going to occur?
Okay, sunset tonight is officially at 7:36 this evening. So that is when dusk would officially begin, and then dawn will not arrive until 6:04 tomorrow morning.
So that should be the curfew then. What was that again?
Yes,
7?
the curfew will officially be from 7:36 until 6:04 tomorrow morning.
A little more than, 2 hours and 45 minutes?
That's right, and according to the mayor, during that time they will root out, quote, arrest and incarcerate those involved in the mayhem.
Let's come back to that in just a minute. We just have a call from Warren Wilson, who is inside a looted building. Warren, where are you located? Warren Wilson?
I am still at the intersection of Martin Luther King Boulevard and Vermont Avenue. We're inside a check cashing stand here, where we see investigators they are heavily armed, looking around, checking, inspecting the place. And as you may be able to see from these pictures, it is in ruins. We don't know. We see cash drawers open along the counter here. We can turn around and see these cash drawers that are open. Whether money has been taken not is a question that we can't answer at the moment. But certainly these officers here with the private security firm are here inspecting, and they have come with weapons drawn in the event that somebody misunderstands their intentions. And this is just inside of a building on a parking lot area here where the National Guards are standing. So there's lots of firepower, lots of security here, and they are here. I was just told by one of them that they came here to check, inspect, and carry out assets. So maybe we can even talk to one of them. Are either one of you able to talk to us and tell us what in fact is going on here?
We can't make any comment on behalf of the company. We're advised not to do that.
What company is it, Warren?
This is a security. What's the name of your company? Well,
It's check cashing. Thomas Hicks Distributors.
Thomas Distributors, the check cashing firm. And they are right here. Maybe this gentleman here. Can you tell us what's going on, what you're doing?
I'm here to pick up some important papers.
Are the papers there?
Tell me the papers. You see the papers you're looking for?
Yeah, they're in the bag.
Tell me, what does this mean here with these drawers all open, empty?
That's the vault.
Did somebody get into these,
Right.
take some money out?
Yes, they did.
They did take money
Oh,
out.
I don't know about money, but they broke in looking for money.
And they just broke inside. So, well, listen, thank you very much for speaking to us about this. We're looking again at the drawer here. It's empty, but you say you don't know whether their money was taken.
No, I don't know because I just was told to come here and that's it.
Listen, thank you again very much. Hal, that's another one of these small developments here in this curfew zone where things are now, at least at this particular location, are under control for the moment.
You know, Warren, we can begin, I think, now to understand some of the reasons behind the firing and the looting of some of these mini malls, because it just occurred to us that there are, at a lot of these mini malls, these check cashing businesses. And not only is there often a good deal of money there, there are other valuable commodities such as food stamps and lotto tickets and bus passes. And people do a lot of business. Money orders, they do a lot of business at those places. So there could be a very specific reason of graft, of greed, by attacking those mini malls that have check cashing stores in them.
Listen, Larry, to answer your question, absolutely. There's no question that there are a lot of these here. They have money. And we can see how anxious these guards are. This one just came in and said, hey, let's go, let's get moving. We're in a hurry to get this out of here. And you can see, because there are, what?
We have other stores we have to go to.
Other stores, you want to try to get to them before nightfall?
Right. Yes.
As you can hear this, he says, hey, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And you can really, that gives you an idea.
Yeah, I think you guys better be careful there, Warren.
What the magnitude? Yeah, these guys, we're okay. We've been under far more threats today than this. Our car was hit a couple of times, but I think, Larry, we're going to be okay here. And they're really anxious to get this going. I just dropped my, I just dropped something here, and we're going to go outside, get outside, because they want us out. And we want to be out so that they can do what they have to do. What you're watching here again now, I don't know if we're still with you, Hal. We had a little problems there.
We're still with you. We're still with you.
What you're watching here is a lot of excitement. So many things are going on. It's difficult to stay with them all. But that, as you can see, a policeman rushing down Martin Luther King Boulevard east, and now they're turning south on Vermont. We can't tell you what it is. Maybe somebody in the air or something. We see officers coming in another direction, yet another direction, rushing here on Martin Luther King Boulevard, speeding to.
Warren,
But
as you exited.
despite all that, look at the people. They're just standing around. They're not looking at it, not reacting. Let me ask you a question. Can you talk? You don't want to talk to me? Tell me, ma'am, what's going on with you right now?
The only thing going on with me right now, I'm out here trying to see what people are doing, and the ones that I know advise them to stop. Because what's happening to these buildings, these people that own the buildings didn't do it. They didn't make the verdict on Rodney King. It's not their fault. So they're suffering for something that they had nothing to do with, and it's wrong.
There, you've got the opinion of one lady here.
Warren,
How about you?
Warren?
What do the National Guard plan to do after curfew time? Plan to shoot us into our house or something?
Well, do you understand what curfew means?
Yeah, curfew means that you have to go into your house and you have to clear the street and go into your house, correct?
No, yes, absolutely. Now, maybe you can answer your own question. What are you going to do knowing you have to do that under law and that these men here are here to enforce that law?
Well, yeah, okay. Let me put it this way.
Answer the question, if you will.
want the National Guard
Oh,
to
the National
arrest you,
Tell
but
me,
you won't
what
be
are you
out.
going to do?
The same thing. Probably the same thing.
What's that? Go in your house?
Yeah.
Well, that's what. Now, if you don't go in the house, what do you think?
Okay.
Whatever
whatever happens to me, you know?
That's what I'm asking you.
You brought it on yourself.
What'd you say?
Whatever happens to people that don't go in, they bring it on themselves.
Now, you do understand that, don't you?
Yeah, I do understand that.
And you will be going in at curfew?
That would have to depend.
You can't turn
I
the
have to
phone
stay.
in to make
You gotta
a right.
understand. I gotta go pick up my mom at work.
Yeah?
This is what the
Now
point
listen,
is.
But I'm sure
what
that
are they gonna do? RTD bus lines are not running.
Well, you know what? I don't know, but I would suspect that if you have legitimate business to attend
They
to,
will
such as
stop you
giving
and-
parents or somebody transportation, they may allow for that. And you should question them and ask them if you can do it without, and believe me, from a person who's experienced reporting incidents like this over the years, do what they tell you to do, and believe me, there won't be any problems.
And what they said, if you have to be out after the curfew, the police will stop you and ask you where you're going, and if it's a good enough reason, you're allowed to go. So it's no problem there.
Understand that?
I understand.
How about you?
I understand too.
Okay, it looks to me as though we have gotten a consensus here that once the curfew is imposed tonight, these people are going to obey it. And as we tell you, there are lots of things going on here as the day progresses and the night nears and the sun goes down. But we'll be here and we'll be reporting live. We will check that out if that's the case. We don't know for sure. We've just been told that there may have been a shooting, and that may have been what police were responding to, but we don't want to say that with any kind of firm statement until we've had a chance to check it out. Back
Warren,
to the
behind
studio.
you. Warren, behind you, it looks, while you were inside the check cashing facility, that it has totally gutted that three-story building, and it's proceeding to destroy the entire area there, that mini mall area behind you, with no help at this point from the fire department because they're stretched so thin. But it looks like, and what's your assessment, that the entire structure there is going to be gone very soon?
Well, it looks that way to me, and I'm quite sure, Jan, that's probably, I believe that's Jan that I'm talking to.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's quite likely is what will happen here. It's burning slow. And the reason that building is burning slow, I think, is because the direction of the wind is burning. It was burning into the wind, but as you can see there, flames are about to get up there pretty high now. And I'm trying to see. Oh, the nail set. There's a nail in here salon which could contain some heavily flammable material. And we may see some big flames coming out of there before it's all over.
Hey, Warren, can you stay with us just for a moment? We have Lieutenant Bud Shields of the California Highway Patrol on the line, and we'd like to talk to him just for a moment while we look at the video from your camera. Lieutenant Shields, do you read us?
Yes, I can hear you. Who am I speaking to?
This is Hal Fishman at Channel 5.
How you doing, Hal?
Could be doing better, I guess. What about yourself? Where are you located, Lieutenant?
We're in Compton right now, and we're at a secret headquarters that we just set up. The situation here is getting very, very bad. We've just arrested 6 youths trying to set fires to several buildings down here. And from what we understand, there is some type of organization amongst these youths to somehow or another, what we're gathering is to set 10 buildings an hour on fire down here. So, I mean, what we're getting is it's very, very, very distressing news.
Do you think that maybe you've broken that ring with the arrest of those that you have apprehended?
We don't know yet how many people or how many youths are involved in this ring right now, but we feel that this is just a part of the organization. So we're doing everything we can to break up this ring and any other ring that is trying to set fires down here.
Lieutenant, how have they been doing it? How have they been lighting these fires?
We found 12 gallons of gasoline with these youths themselves, so we would imagine just pour the gasoline and set the buildings on fire and get out.
Lieutenant Shields, this is Jan Carl here with Hal Fishman. Any indication from those youths that you arrested whether they were staying within the Compton area or they had been out in other areas igniting fires as well?
Jan, that's our fear. We're afraid that the Compton area is just another area that's going to be sought out, or well, with additional areas now. We're concentrating our efforts in the LA area, but we're worried about all the surrounding areas now. There's only so many men available.
Now, how many men are available in your organization right there? Say with the Highway Patrol. How many have you got?
We've just assigned an additional 200. I don't know what the total force is right now, but I would say 85% of our force is out on detail right now.
Lieutenant Shields, this is Larry McCormick with Hal and Jan. Do you see any indication that these young men whom you've taken into custody, who seem to be acting in an organized manner in setting fires, are part of some larger citywide group?
That's what we're afraid of.
You're afraid that may be true?
We fear that this group is organized.
Is it a gang? And if so, what gang is it?
This situation is, we feel, is just an organization of youths that are just taking advantage of a situation that's totally gotten out of hand. And, there's looting involved and vandalism, and it's just, to them, it's a free-for-all, and it's created such a havoc situation for us. Every time we start to get organized, we get disorganized again.
Are they handling, traveling in their own vehicles, traveling in groups, operating en masse?
We're traveling in stolen vehicles.
I see.
And Lieutenant, are you from the Southern California area?
Yes.
And how many Highway Patrol officers are coming in from other areas in California?
That number I don't have right offhand, but it's the most we can possibly get. I mean, it's just anybody we can get our hands on.
We've been told that California Highway Patrol vehicles and officers are being flown in from Northern California.
I don't know if we're all the way from Northern California, but I know we're getting them from Central and all the way down to San Diego, so I don't know how far north we're getting them from.
Mm-hmm. Lieutenant Shields, were these youths actually apprehended in the act of setting another fire?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, now, just so those who are just tuning in understand this very clearly, we have on the phone Lieutenant Bud Shields of the California Highway Patrol, who has just told us that they have taken into custody a number, did you say 6 or 7 young men?
6 youths.
6 youths,
correct,
whom they believe have been, in an organized manner, trying to start intentionally 10 fires an hour. If that is true, and we assume that you have some evidence which supports that, then that gives us to understand the amazing acceleration with which all of these fires have been popping up. They've been popping up so quickly. Our field reporters and our camera in the helicopter have been saying that they're happening so quickly, they don't see, and so spontaneously, they don't see how anybody could actually be starting them that fast. This would give us a partial answer to that.
Lieutenant, do you still hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, one question. Is it...
Hold on 1 second, please.
Okay. Okay, stand by.
Take one more question, then I've got
Okay,
to go.
is this a gang that you know of, and if so, which gang?
I really don't want to disclose that at this time.
Okay.
I haven't been given any authorization to do that, but yes, it is a major gang.
Okay, Lieutenant, thank you for that information. We
If anything
appreciate
else
it.
comes along, I will call you back.
Please do that.
Thank you,
Lieutenant.
Okay, now we have another emergency broadcast service announcement that has just come over, and we wish to bring that to you right now.
This is an emergency message from the Los Angeles County Emergency Operations Center. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is now in total mobilization. All off-duty deputy sheriffs are directed to contact their unit of assignment as soon as possible or the nearest Los Angeles County Sheriff's facility. Sheriff Sherman Block has mobilized all department personnel due to the escalation and seriousness of the problems that are occurring in parts of the Los Angeles area. The California Army National Guard has been deployed to assist the Sheriff's Department and Los Angeles Police Department in a mutual aid operation to restore law and order and to protect life and property. In addition, the curfew has been extended to include all of Los Angeles city limits and to include Los Angeles County boundaries of Vernon Avenue on the north, Lomita Boulevard on the south, Crenshaw Boulevard on the west, and the Long Beach Freeway on the east. In addition, most social events that are scheduled this weekend in Los Angeles County parks have been canceled. Citizens are advised to contact the park to ascertain if their event has been canceled. This concludes this activation of the emergency broadcast system on April the 30th, 1992 at 16:48 hours.
Okay, that was an emergency broadcast service, and if you'll notice the difference from the previous emergency broadcast that we brought you, where they were requesting a complete mobilization, that complete mobilization of the Sheriff's Department has now taken place. Jan, you had something?
I do. Hughes Aircraft is now telling all of their 1,700 employees that are working the night shifts not to come to work, and it is possible at this point in time they will tell all 30,000 employees tomorrow to stay home. So if you are an employee of Hughes Aircraft on the night shift, do not report to work tonight. If you are scheduled to work tomorrow, you may want to call first and find out, because they may tell all 30,000 employees just to stay home tomorrow.
Okay, let's go to Warren Wilson now. And Warren, you still at the location at Martin Luther King in Vermont?
I am indeed, Hal, and what you're looking at down there is a little ways from us, police cars speeding away from what we were told was a shooting a few minutes ago. We've not been able to check it out officially. However, we have a gentleman here who said he was there at the time and saw it, and perhaps we can get him over here and tell us what you saw.
Hi, but three of my friends were coming down the alley right behind the 76 station, and as a gentleman was running out of Bell surplus, I guess he was trying to loot or something, and the National Guard were pulling up, and as the gentleman tried to get in the back, they fired about 2 rounds. It hit him in his upper shoulder on the right-hand side. The gentleman fell back in the back of his truck, and they were starting to administrate our first aid to him. And as the LAPD pulled up, and me and my friends continued to walk on because they were trying to push everybody outside the alley there.
But you did see a man hit, and apparently then, if that is the case, from what this gentleman tells us, how we have probably had our first casualty, a confrontation here with the National Guards doing what they came here to do, and that is to prevent the looting and bring this matter under control.
That may also answer another question.
Yeah, it answers the question.
They got live ammunition.
That we had that's right, Larry,
Yes.
that we had raised before as to whether they had live ammunition. That question is now answered in the affirmative.
Exactly. That would certainly be that, and you know, as always, Hal, something like this, we're here for it. We're here for it. We're here first. And we're going to go back down and check and see what else we can find out about it.
Before you go, I presume, Warren, that at least, I'm not sure, did you hear Lieutenant Bud Shields of the Highway Patrol mention that they have evidence now that the setting of the fires is being done by an organized group and that it is not random?
Absolutely. I did hear that, and I got to tell you, when I came to work this morning, I had a call from somebody who said, Warren, if you have time, check out the possibility that the fires that we watched last night may have been planned prior to yesterday, and contemplating such a verdict that they executed that plan. And I was not able to check that out to find out who they are. I had a name that I'm not going to repeat here until I've had a chance to check it out, but I had been given information to that effect earlier today, and was withholding that until we'd had some official confirmation or verification that that was the case. But I can tell you that from what I've seen here today, it was almost
white policemen out to get a bunch of black men. They would have indeed done, done damage to all three of the car's occupants, not just one of them.
Now, that anonymous juror also emphasized the videotape was an important piece of evidence in the trial, but it did not show the whole picture, she said, of what was happening at the scene. That was one of the jurors who agreed to speak today under the cloak of anonymity. We want to go to Ed Arnold now. Ed, are you still at the 54th Street location? Ed?
Yeah, what we're doing right now is waiting, hoping to get some word from either Chief Gates or one of the deputy chiefs to give us an idea of what's going on. We've seen an awful lot of officers deployed, getting out of here, being set up. And again, we've seen some of the National Guard unit people you talked about coming in earlier, because they came in and it looked like personnel carriers and picked up some LAPD guys and took off. Now, where exactly they were going, we don't know. As we found out earlier, there's some 5,000 National Guard in this area, and they're deploying them. Some of them, a great number of them are here behind us, as are a great number of officers waiting for an assignment. And it's funny, when you talk to these guys, some of them were called in on vacation. I talked to one young man who just got called in, just came in just a few minutes ago, was trying to locate his unit, and it took some time for him to get to them. Now, what we're doing, we're waiting kind of on a standby basis just to see what's happening, and in there you can see them standing by to go as needed, where they're needed. Again, these guys, many of them have been working some awfully long shifts. Again, we had a changeover from what they call the A to the B shifts earlier this evening, and we were here when that change took place. But again, these guys, when we talk about the firefighters and the policemen, they've gone so far beyond the call of duty, and it's amazing when you talk to these firemen, these firefighters, trying to do their job, doing their best, and then all of a sudden you got some clowns, whatever you want to call these people that are causing the problems, getting into the scene, trying to cause harm to these guys. And then people come in and complain, say, why is the police department, why the fire department not doing the job they're supposed to do? Believe me, folks, these guys are doing the best job they can, and it's not an easy situation. And with regards to the curfew we talked about earlier, in this particular area here, we've noticed that the curfews are pretty well in place. You can look down 54th Street. I'm looking down it now. Very dark. I can see one car, and that's all we're looking for. Again, we're going to try to look down this way, and that's about the extent of it. You look the other way, and there are no cars whatsoever except those that are coming into this command post, this facility here. And again, we're at Van Ness Arlington, 54th Street. I keep mentioning Van Ness Arlington because it's where the two come together. Again, you can see.
Ed, do you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Let's get to some numbers straight here, where there seems to be some conflict in numbers. You had mentioned 5,000 National Guard. We were told by Major Pat Antosh of the National Guard, PIO, and the Public Information Officer, that there were 1,000 deployed now and 1,000 standing by, and the 5,000 would come from another 3,000 that were available. So are you certain that 5,000 were deployed already?
No, not deployed. I should have gotten that straight. There are 5,000 that can be used. Right now, we don't know how many out. As I mentioned, they're putting them out as they're needed. And again, somebody says, well, they're needed right now all over the place. But what they're doing is they have to come up with a plan, and that's something that the LAPD, working in conjunction with the California National Guard, is trying to do. And again, here we go with more of the firefighters heading out, because as they're called out, there they go again. And these are firefighters, again, Hal, that have already been out and are just returning again.
Major Antosh told us about an hour ago, I guess, Ed, that there were 1,000 National Guardsmen deployed right then, about an hour ago.
That's the figure I think that was indicated earlier. You got the information from the person that should know, and then again, we're waiting, as we mentioned earlier, to get a spokesman from the LAPD, which we were told that Chief Daryl Gates is here. We don't know for sure, so all we can do is wait because they were due in just a few minutes, and we are supposed to have an official spokesperson coming out from LAPD. Then we can find out. Again, one of the questions I ask. That's what we're waiting to find out in just a few minutes, because we're finally hopefully going to have a spokesperson that we can ask that question to.
Okay, Ed, we'll get back to you in just a moment. First of all, we want to mention that some citizens appear to be taking defense of their property into their own hands. A man we believe to be a business owner can be seen on top of a building at Melrose and La Brea. Now, he is seen firing his rifle. We do not know whether or not he's firing at looters, but you can see he is clearly firing that rifle. Now, he is almost in a sniper's position. And whether or not he is firing at some specific target or not, we don't know. He seems not to have a semi-automatic rifle, but as though he has to reload after each shot. Mm-hmm. Either he's firing a single-shot rifle or a pump shotgun. It's hard to tell from this distance.
I wish the camera could
see what he's firing at.
Yes, so we can see what he's shooting at.
Well, anyway, you can tell that some people are taking law or breaking the law into their own hands, and it's a very dangerous place to be out there on the streets tonight.
We saw a dramatic example of that, I think, earlier tonight, Hal, when we saw how the people who are affiliated with Scientology use their bodies as a human shield all around their building.
Mm-hmm. And they had obviously boarded up all the windows all the way around their building as well.
So no anonymous person was going to drive by or ride by on a bike and toss a bomb without somebody seeing it.
Mm-hmm. And in Koreatown earlier today, we saw some videotape of some store owners or store workers there of a grocery store all on the roof, and it looked like several men, and it looked as if all of them were armed.
Yes, I remember that. Undoubtedly, there are a whole lot of arms extant out there in a city like Los Angeles. Hundreds of thousands of guns owned by private parties, by people, and a lot of business people have permits to use them. It's 1-800-870-1929. 1-800-870-1929. That's the number to call that the mayor's office has set up especially with the SBA to find out what kind of financial assistance you can get if indeed your business has been destroyed by the civil disorders that have been going on for the last 27 hours or so.
You know, Larry, talking about the small business owners, I don't think that I will ever forget the face of Arlene Mayo, who we had on earlier, who for 14 years had a print and copy shop, and it was burned to the ground. And that's a look on her face.
May I mention that I've just been informed that we are expecting Mayor Bradley to issue a statement to all of us here in Los Angeles. Also, Chief of Police Daryl Gates and Governor Pete Wilson will be there with the mayor. So be sure to stay with us here at News at 10, because as soon as that takes place, we will take you right there. I promise that.
Hal, you mentioned earlier the medical number. We'd like to put that back on the screen. Again, this is not a replacement for 911, but if you have questions of a medical nature, if you need referrals to a hospital, this is a medical hotline you can call. It is 1-800-559-5252. It's been staffed with operators since 6 p.m. and they will continue around the clock with operators to assist.
Okay, Jan, right now we're going to take about a 15-second break. We're going to be right back with all the latest developments for you and live reports. We're just going to change now into our News at 10 mode, and do stay with us, and we'll be right back.
The #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jan Carl, Larry McCormick, Stu Nahan with sports. Channel 5, News at 10.
Good evening. We are bringing you the latest coverage of the violence, the crisis in the city of Los Angeles. To bring you up to date, we're going to go up to Stan Chambers in Skycam 5, the Channel 5 News helicopter flying over the city of Los Angeles, to give us an overview of how things look at this very moment. Stan, how does it look? Are you seeing any improvement in the situation?
Hal, we have seen an improvement. We are over a fire in the Compton area. There are several fire units on this. There's some white smoke. It's a commercial structure, and this has been burning quite intensely over the last few minutes. During the past couple of hours, we've been looking around the city. We've been watching the other fires that are kind of burning themselves out. We've only seen one for sure that we knew was a new fire, at least we believe was a new fire. So we are in an era where we're not getting those new fires that we had for so long earlier today. The other thing that we've been noticing is that the streets are vacant, that there are no cars on the streets. There are no pedestrians out, no people. The curfew seems to be holding, and it seems that everybody is cooperating with the mayor and with the fire chief to keep inside. This fire here at Compton, there are 4 different fire rigs. There's white smoke coming up, a lot of heavy water on it, and this is one of the few really active fires. This could be a new one, but it doesn't have the same characteristics of the ones that we have been seeing earlier. We are here near the Compton airport, and as we look around the city, we can see the remnants of at least 3 or 4 other fires in this district. We'll continue our patrol over the city for further activities. And Hal, back to you.
Okay, Stan, did you ever get a view of the 405 interchange? It looks like the visibility is very good tonight. What would you estimate, about 15, 20 miles, can you see?
Easily, Hal. It's very clear, and we can see for a great distance. And as we went over the freeways, again, wide open, just wide open. The people of Los Angeles are cooperating in this curfew situation.
That's very important, Stan, because it'll enable law enforcement to apprehend those who may be out for illicit purposes. Stan, do you also notice diminution in the amount of smoke?
Yes, Hal. I think this wind that has come up has cleared the skies. You still have several black bands of smoke throughout the sky, but it's not the all-complete situation that we had yesterday. As we are going in an easterly direction, again in the Compton area, to our left we have another fire, and I can't tell if it's a new one or if it's another one burning itself out. So we are, seems to be in a more optimistic mode, but these fires are continuing to burn.
What are those black areas that we are seeing there? Are those open fields, or is that the Compton airport? Or
we believe that these are power outages. As you know, there's many areas that are having problems with electricity. Now look at that one there. That's really boiling, isn't it? This fire is again a little deeper into Compton. Is that near the look? Yeah, we're just east of the Compton airport by 2 miles, and that building is well involved, and it sits adjacent to another building that appears that it is beginning to burn.
Stan, the city of Compton, just like the city of Los Angeles, has declared a curfew. There is a curfew in effect from dusk to dawn in Compton and Culver City and Santa Monica and the city of Los Angeles.
And it's good to see that the people are cooperating because, as you said, this really gives the law enforcement people a chance to crack down on anyone who might be setting these fires, might be looting, might be causing more trouble.
Also, I wanted to mention there are a few other cities that have added their cities to the list of curfews. The city of Torrance, also the city of West Hollywood, Inglewood, and we might want to give the boundaries for the curfew that's in effect right now in the Los Angeles area. It's the entire city of Los Angeles, but it has been expanded to the Santa Ana Freeway and the Santa Monica Freeways to the north, San Diego Freeway on the west, the Long Beach Freeway on the east, and Lomita Boulevard on the south. So that area did get expanded, and those are the cities and the areas that we are aware of at this time where curfew is currently in effect.
Right, but even if you are, let's say, west of the San Diego Freeway, but in the city of Los Angeles or the city of Santa Monica, that curfew is in effect.
Still in effect.
You can be stopped, you can be picked up, you can be apprehended if you're out and without any specific or pretty good reason.
That's right.
Okay, Stan, while you fly overhead and continue to spot for us, we want to give a little background as to what went on earlier in the day for those who may just be joining us here on News at 10. It'll also provide a little perspective if you've been with us all morning and all afternoon and all evening. So let's show you exactly what happened just a little bit earlier today. There was looting that took place in many areas of the city. This was in the Hollywood area, and as we pointed out, talk about brazenness when committing a felony. That was a perfectly good example. Stores were looted, and many of them were then set on fire. The number of fires that were raging in the city of Los Angeles at 9 o'clock tonight was 61. And there were a total of 1,281 fire calls. To make that 1,281 structures are actually involved in fires from midnight till 6 p.m. Tonight. This was a man trying to save his home while a structure was being destroyed next to him. And we are going to come back to show you further reports on this, but Larry McCormick has some important developments. Larry?
We just have some raw videotape footage in from Koreatown, 3rd and Western Avenue. This is live, by the way. We're going live to 3rd and Western. In the Koreatown section, we have some people down. Now, we are not certain whether these are people who are being taken into custody. They are not wounded, I understand. They are under arrest. These are obviously people who did not take the curfew to heart, who were stopped by either LAPD units, because I don't see any National Guard units there, and they are under arrest. That's
so
a Shell,
they are enforcing the curfew.
It's a 3rd and Western, and that's one of those Shell self-service stations, and I think they also have one of those mini-marts there. So although this is live, the picture you're seeing now is live on Channel 5 News. This is the Koreatown section of LA, 3rd and Western at a Shell mini-mart. Obviously, either 2 or 3, I think there are perhaps 3 people at least, who have been ordered to lie supine, and I understand. And now I'm being told, Hal and Jan, this is the same location where the Korean merchants were on the roof of their building with the guns. Remember that? They're very well-armed people. So these people are not wounded, I understand. They are. That person looks in pretty bad shape that I saw just there a minute ago. That looks like that might have been someone who was deceased.
Might have been a casualty.
Yes, because he was laying not in the position, the supine position that they're usually ordered to lay in when they're being handcuffed. Apparently, they were in the white van and were pulled over by police, and obviously they're cuffing this one person here, and we're going to see what they're going to do to the other person who was laying over on this side, and who looked like they might have been someone.
Well, let's see. We'll find out pretty quickly here.
Okay, we're going to see. Nope.
No, he's moving.
He's moving. So he was not injured. He's being cuffed. I think he's being cuffed. Yes. They took the plastic cuffs off, and I guess they're going to put on the metal cuffs.
You know, one advantage of deploying Highway Patrol and National Guard, it is freeing LAPD for law enforcement throughout the city.
Sure, for police work.
For police work, which they were unable to do prior to the deployment of the National Guard. Approximately 1,000 National Guard troops have been deployed. Another 4,000 are ready to be deployed.
We don't have a reporter at the scene, which is why we do not know what the nature of whatever offense these men might be accused of having committed is. But obviously they've been taken into custody because, and there are several more.
There are several more suspects on the ground in the distance there.
We have no idea whether they're arsonists or whether they fired at police, but they were stopped in the white van by the police for some reason and were taken out and are obviously being taken into custody. So obviously they are suspects.
Okay, as soon as we find out with what they are charged, we will let you know. We wanted to show you some of the views of what this city looked like tonight, just a matter of a short time ago. And you can see some of the fires that were burning throughout the city. As we mentioned just a moment ago, there were 61 fires that were raging. These are some of them.
And Hal, I just received word that the death toll has increased once again. It is now up to 24. Okay. So the death toll now, in what's just been a little over 24 hours of violence in the city of Los Angeles, is now up to 24.
Are these these pictures were taken from Skycam 5, the Channel 5 News helicopter, and they were most widespread in a line developing from Hollywood all the way down to Long Beach. We're talking a distance of approximately 35 miles longitudinally, and horizontally they extended all the way from East LA out to almost the 405 freeway.
That's right. We had one report at Olympic and 405.
Hal, Jan and I have just each been given a whole bunch of businesses and courts and things that are going to be closed tomorrow. I think we ought to just maybe tell people, plan on not going to work or call before.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
The list is just too long.
Right. I think that you should just check on that depending upon your occupation, whether it be private or public. Other news reporters are covering the scene, Jan. I understand Cable News Network, for example, is...
Exactly. In fact, CNN reporters, they've been covering the violence here in Los Angeles the entire time. We have this report, and it is from Greg Lamont.
The forces of the police and the National Guard are combining, anticipating another hellish night in the City of Angels, following a day that saw the worst looting here since the 1965 Watts riots. There have been more deaths. This man was shot in the back and the head while standing on the street. Even the paramedics who showed up to help say they are fortunate to be alive because rioters fired bullets at them while they were trying to save the victims of this violence. The fact is, there are too many looters, too many arsonists, and too few police officers to do anything about it. Police stand helplessly by as hundreds of looters bash their way into stores and take seemingly whatever they want. The looting is sporadic, but it is citywide. Hollywood and Beverly Hills are affected. 3 major banks have been closed down out of fear of robbery. Most stores have closed in the downtown area, but looters just crash through the gates and glass with no fear of being caught. In fact, the police, when they do see it, only try to scare them away. Given the level of crime here, only a handful of people have been arrested because police are too busy trying to contain certain areas, not make arrests. The stores that are looted, it's almost like a feeding frenzy. They pour in, grab what they want, and run out. There is thick black smoke everywhere from the hundreds of fires that have been set. The National Guard is now on the streets, but it seems as each hour passes, the strength of the masses grows. People realize they can get away with something, so they do, and nobody seems to know when it will end. The scene in Los Angeles is sickening, and every effort imaginable is being made to try to stop it before the masses grow and the violence grows worse. Greg Lamont, CNN, Los Angeles.
As we told you earlier, the city of San Francisco is also under a state of emergency at this hour, and city officials are asking the neighboring counties of Alameda and Santa Clara for assistance. Mayor Frank Jordan imposed a curfew which took effect at 9 o'clock this evening. Police officers are making arrests and clearing one of the city's main thoroughfares, Market Street. Dozens of downtown stores already have been looted tonight. According to city officials, at least 340 people have already been arrested, and 5 police officers have been injured, mostly by objects thrown by demonstrators. And I believe right now we are taking a look at scenes from Berkeley, California, where there is also looting going on. They are also making dozens of arrests in the area that borders UC Berkeley campus. Rioters already have looted stores. As we said, police are trying to get the situation there under control. Unfortunately, the violence has spread to other cities of California. And earlier today, the Bay Bridge, which links San Francisco with Berkeley and Oakland, was shut down for 2.5 hours. Okay, right now what we're seeing is videotape from Atlanta. We've had word all day of demonstrations and rioting going on there. Larry, you mentioned that there was a area called the Underground there in Atlanta.
Yeah, the underground city under Peachtree and the main downtown streets of Atlanta.
In the firebombing.
That's true, Tony. There have been a few. There haven't been many, but there have been a few. The one we talked about down there on Western and Washington was a total loss. And I really have to say I haven't seen more than half a dozen or so, but last night, you're quite correct, there weren't any.
Would you say the ones that you've seen tonight were in flames just because they were close to another building that had been set afire, or that these residences were specifically targeted for fire?
I might have said so in other cases. The one that we saw down the street here, I don't believe was that way. In fact, there were commercial buildings next door to that apartment complex that did not get burned. The apartment complex did get burned, and it seemed to me that somehow the fire was started inside that complex itself.
Looks very calm to us right now, David, the area you're flying over.
We're flying over Western Avenue, and this could be a result of the curfew that's trying to keep people off the streets. And it's been very, very much the case in South Central Los Angeles that you don't see a lot of pedestrian traffic, and it has been the case somewhat here. But you have sort of a marauding tactic that takes place at the same time, which is people driving cars rapidly through neighborhoods and areas, and apparently firebombing. We saw some of it in Long Beach and some of it in South Central area. And you don't see large numbers of people, no congregations of people on the streets. That's been an effect of the curfew, I'm sure.
We have a breaking story now. We're going to Jane Velez Mitchell in our newsroom for that.
Yes, we are told, Jerry and Tony, that the rioting that started here in Los Angeles has now spread to Las Vegas. We have